When the evening settles and the day grows still, stories rise softly from memory's hill. These are the letters we carry inside, stories of love, loss, and pride. Welcome, my friend, to Porchlight Letters.
Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Waikanae Beach in New Zealand. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2444. And today we're answering the question of how do I make interviews feel natural? One of my favorite things to do. But first of all, my humblest apologies for being on almost 4 hours late. I totally forgot I was going over to my parents' place this afternoon because my sister-in-law and five of their kids were coming down were arriving to come over and say hi. And so we had a lunch there. There was 11 of us in total, and we just had a blast. And they're aged in range, I think, from 16 down to 18 months, I think it was. Yes, 18 months. So 18 months up to the age of 16, and then all the adults. So it was a very good time. Did not take any photographs. I was just having so much fun, just enjoying everybody's presence. And yeah, we did tell some stories. There were some stories told. And then my oldest brother, the older brother of the two, that I'm the oldest. So the older of the two brothers, because my youngest brother wasn't able to come down, but we did get to speak to him on the phone, which was awesome. But my other brother pulled up a photo of my youngest brother when he was about 10 to 12 years old. And the kids are looking at it and their eyes just literally bugged out of their heads at how similar, at how much my brother's two boys looked exactly like that photograph. It was uncanny, except for the hair, the facial features were almost identical. I said, well, put it this way. I said, putting the three of you together, there is no doubt it's father and son and that you two are brothers. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, so let's get on to our topic today of how do I make interviews feel natural? The best interviews feel like conversations, not interrogations. And that's your goal. When you are interviewing people, you want to start with a casual conversation. Begin with light, familiar topics, because this helps build comfort and ease. It could be something like, oh, how are you doing this week? And just building into the questions of, you'll have your questions there, but building in that into the conversation. This helps build comfort and ease. A relaxed start sets the tone. And follow the storyteller's pace. When you allow the conversation to flow naturally, you avoid rushing or forcing topics, and natural pacing encourages the openness. So if you slow down to their pace, and usually you are having to slow down to their pace, that encourages them to be more open. Use listening. Use these two things. You got two of them for a reason and one of this for a reason. Use these more than questioning. Active listening shows respect, because when you're active listening, you are able to pick up things and say, hey, you mentioned this. Can you tell me a little more about this, please? So responding to what they said often leads to deeper stories. Listening creates connection. Also, when you're asking a question about something that they said, they know they are being heard, which is important to them. Avoid rigid scripts. Don't sit there with a questionnaire and go, what year were you born? What date were you born? And just run down the questions. No. Having prepared questions are helpful, but flexibility is huge. Allow the stories to unfold organically. Those questions there are as prompts, just to prompt them into a memory. Adapt the conversation. If you find, you might have there 3 questions you want to ask, and you may only get to 1 during that interview because you go so deep into that interview and they open up about that story. We don't have time for the other 2. We'll come back and do the other 2 another day. Create a comfortable environment. Physical comfort affects emotional openness. A quiet and familiar setting also helps. So if you're doing the interview in their home, have them sit in their favorite comfortable chair. Why not? Why make them go sit in some other place that's a little more formal and rigid and it's not as comfy as their comfortable chair at home? Because, we said a quiet, familiar setting helps. Comfort supports storytelling. And why all this matters is natural interviews produce more authentic stories, and you will go deeper with them. You go deeper with the stories. And so your practical takeaway is to focus on conversation, not control. And for assistance with conversational interviews, scan the QR code in the upper right corner here and set up a 30-minute discovery call with us to help you get started. And in closing, stories flow where conversation feels easy. And that's it from us for today. I know that when I'm interviewing people, I say, give me three questions to start with. And I said, I may use them or I may not. So they give me 3 questions. Usually I use one of the questions that they have, but based on what they tell me in answer to that question, I will pull other questions out of the thing. This shows that I am actively listening. I make it a conversation. It's not sort of like, okay, you've answered that question. Let's move on to the next question. Let's move on to no, it just flows. And when it flows, you get even better information and better stories out of it. So with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, I promise. I don't have anything on my agenda tomorrow that will interfere with that. So, hey, konara.
The stories we carry stay bright through the night. A small steady glow in the fading light. Stories of love, loss and pride we share. Until we meet again, keep the porch light burning.